afternoon. My name is Kelly Nalley, and I am Greenville County Schools Teacher of the Year. And I'm a finalist for South Carolina Teacher of the Year. We were invited to all come to Columbia to the steps of the State House last week, and that was a pretty far trip for most of us in the upstate, so I'm very thankful to the Alliance for Quality Education for hosting this on the upstate's behalf. In this position, I've been asked multiple times by multiple people to share my thoughts on our state's repeated cuts to public education. A lot by the media, and then a month ago, I went down to Columbia for my final interview. And so I wanted to share with you what I say on your behalf every time I'm asked this question. I start by saying that the beautiful thing about public education, about all of you that are standing here today, is that teachers are genuinely here to make a difference in a child's life. We are driven by the desire to serve others, and we are rewarded when our students succeed. We can and do teach children to learn in the absence of lack of funding, absence of funding and resources. We're trained to do our jobs regardless of the circumstances. However, we are concerned, frustrated, and angered by the message that our elected officials are sending our profession. Yeah! 18 months in our state, over $700 million have been cut from our state's education budget with no apparent plan to replace those funds. These decisions will have a long-term effect on school climate, teacher retention, student achievement, and the quality of education available to the children of South Carolina. The first thing that I noted when I went to Columbia was teacher morale. I'd like to ask the teachers in this audience, when these cuts come through, how valued and professional do you feel? Teacher morale is shown and proven through multiple research studies to drive school climate and student achievement. Yet job losses, salary freezes, loss of compensation, and multiple days of unpaid leave have begun to sink teacher morale across our state. The perception that these continual cuts will have no effect on classroom instruction demonstrates a lack of understanding and respect for the teaching profession. Requires quality resources and time for planning and professional development. It is time to make public education a priority in South Carolina. What kind of teacher do you want in the classroom with your children? Budget cuts and furloughs make it difficult to recruit and retain good teachers in our public schools. Teachers in our state are currently ranked among the most qualified in the nation. Did you know that? For the number of nationally board-certified teachers. And it is imperative that we protect that reputation in our public schools. We need to attract the best and brightest into our schools. It is time to make public education a priority in South Carolina schools. Is the quality of your children's and our students' education. Increased class size, decreased instructional funds, reduced work days, threaten the ability of our teachers to meet the individual needs of our students. South Carolina has worked hard to improve its education system and has made remarkable gains. We have some of the highest academic standards and graduation requirements in the nation. We have been recognized as #1 for improvement in graduation rates. We have the greatest 10-year gains in the SAT in the nation. Unfortunately, all these gains could be lost if our state does not create a plan that fully funds public education. It is time to make education a priority in South Carolina. Common financial sense says during a financial crisis, one should refocus, restructure, and find alternate sources of income. Continual cutting without a plan for the future is irresponsible. It hurts our students. It is not an option. No more cuts, no more excuses. In South Carolina, we cannot continue to ask our schools to educate our students on an ever-diminishing budget. Instead, we should make public education a priority in our state. We should determine what we want an educated child to look like in South Carolina, and we should determine what that costs. Then our legislators need to find the revenue to fund that.
Yes.
This is how we plan for the future. The money is there. It is hidden in tax caps, exemptions, and poor revenue base. But it is there. Adequately fund our schools, it is a choice our legislators can make. So, what value do we place on the experiences of the over 700,000 students in South Carolina? These students are the future of our state. We have one chance to educate them. We need to insist to our elected officials that they examine our existing tax system and make the revisions and reforms that are necessary to fully fund South Carolina's definition of an educated child. No more cuts, no more excuses. We can fund our schools, and it is a choice that our legislators can make. Make your voice heard to them.
Yeah!